Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey street fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Welcome to VSPEED and the KHIO 150 at Iowa and the BTDY Racing Series Chase Race number 2 from Iowa Speedway. Should be a fun one here tonight at this 7/8 of a mile speedway in the Midwest. Looking forward to keeping things going here in the Midwest after last week's Chase opener at Kansas, which was a runaway win by Jeff Wright, his 7th of the season. We'll see if he can continue that momentum here in race number 2. My name is Adam Baker, and I'll be your commentator here tonight alongside Alec Martinez up in the booth. Alec, here at Iowa tonight, no, it's not one of your favorite tracks, but we've had some battles here, and just tell us what the drivers are going to be facing here tonight.
Yeah, we have, and it's first off, it's good to be back here with you here, Adam. Good to be back on another BTDY night in America. But no, this track produces a lot of challenges. This track is bumpy, and it's not the new repaved Iowa, which is good. But I will say this track has always had character to it. In my opinion, I never was a big Richmond fan. I was a bigger fan of Iowa than I was Richmond, and this track does provide a little bit of wide racing, especially in turns 3 and 4, and the bumps will always play a factor here tonight in what happens with the racing. But nonetheless, this track, it from the outside in the race car doesn't look that difficult, but I feel like it's very difficult, and I think you could attest to this as well, Adam. This track, it's difficult to be fast at and keep the tires under you.
Yeah, definitely a tricky track. I always kind of attacked this track, so I'm maybe not the best representative of talking about saving your tires, but definitely a challenging one. You can run all different types of lines. We see drivers currently out there qualifying up by the outside wall. You see them down on the inside lane. Can really attack the corners in multiple different ways here, which makes this track a lot of fun for a lot of drivers. And it is just under 1 mile in length. Opened back in 2006. I believe Rusty Wallace, big contributor to that one, and took heavy inspiration from Richmond. And it does share a lot of similarities to that one, just kind of a slightly scaled up and faster version of that track. And definitely a very unique one on the schedule. And let's take a look at our point standings coming into tonight's race. It is Jeff Wright up there at the top of the standings, 2,077 points with his 7th victory last week. Keith Maiato has been very strong this season as well. He's got 3 victories, currently fastest in qualifying, and was runner-up last week at Kansas as well. So keep an eye on him to maybe get another victory here tonight. Very strong at this track, but a lot of drivers out there. Brody Hayes, Ronnie Osmer, Chris Simard, Ray Massey making up the top 6. And then you've got James Loveland, who's been strong this season, Dallas Sullivan, Cody Adkins, Noah Halsky, Dennis Faircloth, and Justin Carey, who I do not believe Justin is here tonight. He was not here last week either, so not going to have really a shot at making the charge for the championship after his victory in week 1. But definitely has been an interesting season, and this track very different from last week. I'm sure we'll still see a lot of our familiar names up front as usual, but some other drivers really do have a specific skill set that suits this track well, so we might see some different names challenging at the front of the field.
We will. Well, fight's still going on right now, and Jeff Wright brings the laps down, so he's going to start a little bit behind the 8 ball. Track position, that's going to matter here a little bit, so it'll be very interesting to see Brody Hayes qualify that well. At least his first lap, his second lap, a little bit better, going to move him behind Jeff, but, you know, it's very interesting just to see what's how this race is going to shake out here. Track position, like I said, I think that's going to be really big. We see James Loveland going over those bumps. That's going to be something to look forward to and look at when we're watching or when we're seeing these guys battle side by side. Those bumps in 1 and 2 are nasty. You don't want to get caught up in those because you hit those the wrong way. That could be all she wrote and losing a position.
Yes, we go on board here with James Loveland trying to improve his lap time. Looks like it'll be a 24:01.7 up there to 7th place quickest. So a big improvement over his first lap, but not quick enough to get up there in the top 5. The Dennis Faircloth, who was very quick in practice, and he's right up there behind Keith Mayato. So impressive qualifying for the number 80 machine. We'll see if he's got the race pace and kind of can restrain himself a little bit. We've seen Dennis kind of burn his tires up a little too quickly at times, but you know, this is a good track for a lot of drivers, like I said, that don't necessarily have the same skill set at other tracks. So I expect Dennis with a lot of laps at this place to challenge up there, but should be interesting. Just under a minute to go. Let's take a look at the quick race analysis as well. 150 laps, just over 130 miles in length this race. We do have 5 tire sets available, 3 green-white checkered attempts if we need them, and fixed setup with an 80% fuel load tonight. So that should keep things a little bit interesting with the handling of these cars. And we also take a look at the track conditions. It's 100 degrees on the track surface. How's that going to make those tires feel, Alec?
It's not going to make him feel good after about 10 or 15 laps. I think we'll be interested to see if track position is going to matter more than tire wear. But, you know, we get a late race caution in this race. We've seen many times, especially here on VSPEED, we've seen Bailey Turner win. I know the next gens are a little bit different, but we have seen different tire strategies kind of play into factor in this track. Like we said, we got 5 tire sets over 150 laps. You know, you get a couple cautions. I expect this race to go green, but if you have cautions fall the right way, you might have to use every single one of these tire sets, because I would say you probably don't want to go more than 10 or 15 laps on a set of tires and a caution to come out. I don't expect to see anybody staying out. Maybe we'll see a 2-tire pit stop, but other than that, I just don't think we're going to see a lot of we're not going to see a lot of guys stay out if we get more than 10 laps. So I think these tires are going to play a big role into what we see tonight, and I think it's going to be a really fun race to watch, and I think it's going to be a really fun race to just watch and see what happens to tire wear, and I'm sure there'll be some comers and goers at the front.
Yeah, definitely going to be some comers and goers, and we've got some new names in here tonight as well. Benson Weaver, it looks like maybe making his first start in the series. Also Logan Threlfeld, VSPEED's very own, down there on the racetrack as well.
Hello.
And
well, I went on chat now to shut the fuck up.
Oh. We're gonna have to make a small change to the audio settings here. I've got the race, I've got the audio coming in from race control. So give us one moment. Well, we don't have that happen very often, but you know, I haven't been in the booth, I guess, since I raced last. So yeah, here we go. Green flag gonna be coming out in a lap after this. Let's take a look at the starting grid up at the front. Keith Mayato gonna get that pole time, 23.865. Dennis Faircloth, nice lap by him. He'll roll off on the front row alongside that beautiful number 80 Sim Magic Toyota Supra. Going to be joining him up there on the front row. And row number 2, it's going to be Noah Mahalski in the 03. Great lap by him. Jeff Wright, your points leader, going to roll off from the 4th spot here tonight. Starting in 5th, it's going to be Brody Hayes. Cody Adkins, who you heard over the radio there just a moment ago, going to start from the 6th spot. Rolling off from 7th, it's James Loveland. Jeremiah Vincent going to start from the 8th position here tonight. Chris Samard rolls off from 9th. And Ray Massey going to round out the top 10 in field.
And then Ronnie Osper is 11th. Jace Coley on the outside in 12th. 13th, rookie Benson Weaver making his first start of the season in the 01. Rolls off 13th. Logan Thurkeld going to roll off in 14th. And 15th, Max Cost, the Clash winner at Talladega. With Dallas Sullivan rolling off in 16th. Then Alan Dice, Jake Mackey, 17th and 18th. In the final row, 19th, Todd Giles Jr. And oh boy, it'll be a fun race. 150 laps. We're going to see a lot of tires wearing out them. I think they have to watch out for that 36 yard on the pole, but also keep an eye on the 37 and 03. They've gotten together the last couple of weeks. It'll be interesting to see what they do when they start right next to each other.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to pick Brody Hayes as my pick tonight. Green flag is off and away, and immediately the 48 drops down in front of Brody Hayes.
He tried and he did it and he got it done, but here comes Faircloth on the outside.
Faircloth trying to get that momentum down the back straightaway, gets it up to the right rear quarter panel. The 03 of Noah Halski. They're going to stay side by side battling for second, but out front it is all Keith Maiato, 2 car lengths out the back door, and he'll lead lap number 1. And Faircloth going to run through those bumps through the center of the corner here. We'll see if he can keep the momentum up on the exit of turn 2. Big bobble right there, and Mahalski able to keep it underneath.
This is another thing to watch out for and monitor. It's a 150 lap race, but we don't think of this track. 150 laps is going to go by very quick. They're turning sub 25-second lap time. So this race, if it goes green, will go by quick. Tire is going to be a major factor here in tonight's race. Track position seeming to be big, but also as well in turns 3 and 4. What is the preferred line to run? Is the outside lane to run, or is that bottom lane the line to run? How about Faircloth to the bottom for the lead?
Yeah, he's trying to take his shots early here. Made the pass on Mahalski. He's going to take a look now across the start-finish line. It's still Maiato, but the gap is not there anymore. He's going to go to the inside. He should be able to complete the pass. Maiato blinks out for just a moment. And big bobble, but clears the 36.
Maiato with the crossover on the bottom. Going to hook those left side tires. Try to get on that yellow line. Now Mahalski going to try to take advantage of that, and he's going to get by Maiato. So now the 80 and the 03 get clear for first and second, and that would be a good battle between Faircloth leading some laps here from the start, his best starting position, and now can he harness himself, pull himself back a little bit, save some tire here. You got clean air. This is what you need. We saw him have such a good run at Mid-Ohio. Could have possibly won that race, made a mistake, and Keith Maiato won this. Could this be a redemption race for Faircloth? And look at these two as well. Noah Mahalski still searching for that win that he's been eluding him. Could he possibly be a factor tonight and get his first career win? And what a time to do it at Atlanta, now this big as well. Right underneath Maiato, the top 2 of the points going at it. Maiato cannot afford to lose too much ground to Jeff Wright.
Yeah, and it looks like Keith really is in conservation mode right from the get-go. And Jeff Wright maybe picking up the pace here a little early, seeing that those 2 guys could pull out in front a ways. They've got really good raw speed. He does as well, and yeah, tries to take that 3rd spot away and does, and now sets his sights on the next 2. Further back, we had a little battle brewing between Chris Samard and I believe it was Jace Coley who was able to complete the pass. Jeremiah Vincent right back there, Max Kost, those guys looking just outside the top 10. Logan Threlk got a little brush on the wall there in the Santa Mobile, back in 16th place, but most drivers single file. Here comes Kost now to the inside.
Kost going to get underneath Vincent, but Vincent will be able to carry that momentum down the backstretch using that outside line. Now they'll switch over in the middle of 3 and 4, excuse me. And up ahead, Jace Coley, we feel like we didn't give him enough credit that he deserved this last week. Was running in the top 5 at Kansas before he got spun to the inside wall. No caution came out, but it was race-ending damage. But Coley is really, and I think we talked about this on the broadcast last week, Coley and Mackey, their improvement from start to where we are now in the season, they've by far been the 2 most impressive drivers, just to see their progression, and it's been really, really fun to watch. And Coley doing solid running in the top 10 here, and Brody Hayes getting by Keith Maiato here. Maiato, even from starting from the pole, I know he's saving, but he cannot afford to lose too much track position, and right now he's dropped 4 spots already.
Yeah, it just looks to be running kind of a consistent middle groove here and not really pushing the car very hard at all, especially on exit. Keeps it very nice and tidy. Some of these other drivers, you see a little bit of a hint of a bobble, and you know, that is heating up those rear tires. Here comes Ronnie Osmer, big send down to the inside on James Loveland, not able to complete the pass that time. And yeah, really exciting to see drivers come into this league, learn from some of these sim racing veterans, and, you know, with a lot of talent and a lot of skill from across their years in the sim. And these new guys get to learn and really improve very quickly. It's almost like trial by fire, but in the best way possible. Cully, Kost, some of those names that you mentioned, you can really see the progression, race to race even. So that's really awesome to see that these new names are picking things up. As big challenge right there. Loveland went to the inside of Atkins, slowed them both down.
Oscar got a nice run off of 4 here, and he'll be able to set up. This is a good battle. 3 cars under a blanket for 7th on the racetrack, or 6th, excuse me. And man, these guys really, really going at it here. Atkins gets clear now. Loveland, or excuse me, Oscar trying to clear Loveland here, and he should have a nice run off of turn number 4 and be able to clear that 0-2 with ease, and maybe have a shot at the 55 on the entry of the corner. But those top 2 are checking out, and I will say this about Coley, and I will say this about a guy like Max Koscheck. They tend to hang out there with Jeff Wright, and they've learned a little bit from Jeff Wright. Noah Mahalski, another one as well. So they're learning from good drivers, and Mahalski, I'm really interested to see his progression as the year, these years have gone on. He's been one of those drivers just knocking on the door for a win, and right now knocking on the door for the lead, trying to get by Dennis Fairclough here.
Yeah, this battle's going on. Looks like Brody Hayes is also closed up on Jeff Wright for 3rd. Cody Adkins is battling with Keith Mayato right now, so lots of battles here in the first 15 laps, and see how the tires start to play out for these 2 that have driven out a ways. They may start to see the fall off happen.
They're coming back here.
Yeah, here comes Wright, here comes Hayes, and look at this battle. Adkins, Osmer, and Mayato duking it out. 3 different approaches to the corner right there, and it nearly all came together in the same exact spot. But Osmer able to clear, and now Adkins kind of pinched down on the inside lane. This is not where you want to be, especially as the race goes on. This can work for the first couple of laps, but as these tires heat up, that outside line is going to become dominant, and you see it right there.
When we see more guys start to move up, when is that point? And I think with the fuel load, you could probably go 75 laps here. Maybe it's over seeing Keith Mayato back the pace down so much, because knowing that you're going to need to really save some tire. And I think Brody Hayes right now, just keep learning from what Jeff Wright's doing here, because Jeff Wright's consistently been the best driver these past his whole entire year, and in these cars, he's been one of the best ever in BTDY. Learn what Jeff Wright's doing. I'm noticing Brody kind of gains entry and center, but loses exit off. He just can't seem to keep up. I think right there, he just needs to keep backing up that center. That's really what's been saving a lot of tire with this tire model. Is you've got to save tire in the center of the corner, and I think he's doing that. Watching Jeff Wright, learning from Jeff Wright, and learning what he can do to attack him later in this race. And what could really help is when Jeff gets to Dennis Fairclough and Noah Mahalski, that could be your opportunity to pounce.
Yeah, good run through the center that time. Was able to keep right up with Wright. And they have closed now onto the top 2. Fairclough still hanging here, just a car length behind Mahalski, who was able to take that lead away. But the top 4 now all nose to tail, essentially. Mayato back about a half second, hanging here, just kind of waiting for those guys to burn their stuff up entirely, and then he'll try and close back in. Can't wait too long, though.
Mahalski made a mistake there in one, and he'll let Fairclough be closer behind them. Hayes now to the bottom of right, but Wright's going to use his momentum off the corner and get a huge run. Fairclough should get up here, and he's just going to hand Jeff Wright the spot.
Yeah, it looked like Dennis nearly made contact with Mahalski, had to back off. That cost him all of his momentum on the exit, and yeah, Jeff Wright took big advantage of that one, and now he's right there knocking on the door for the lead. It's just...
Now,
yeah, there he goes.
You gotta be kidding me, because now he's got to get by Fairclough, who's gonna race him here. And we know the top 2 are teammates, Wright and Mahalski. And Mahalski here, knowing I think Jeff's a little bit faster, and I mean, he's gonna race him. I just don't know how much time it's gonna take for Jeff to get by and burn up tires. And like we said, Fairclough really just try to get to the outside and capitalize the position. And now Hayden's gonna have to use up a little bit of tire to get by Fairclough, and he's gonna be on the wrong side of the deal here, as Fairclough can just use momentum.
Yeah, it was a really close moment there coming off turn 2 between Mahalski and Wright. They nearly made contact. It was just a paper width there between the 2 of them. And again, right here, look at that. Yeah, Wright's not coming all the way up the track, so I think Mahalski's just not quite swinging it out to the wall. But not expecting him to be that close, it looked like right there.
And that'll probably be that, unless Mahalski can get to that right rear. Now he can't, and Jeff Wright gets clean air in the lead, which to no one's surprise. But now Brody Hayes is going to have to work around Noah Mahalski, who he's had some trouble with the past few weeks in the way they've raced. Obviously, last week Noah Mahalski showed his displeasure to Brody Hayes, so I think now this will be very interesting to see how the 03 will race the 37, and vice versa, how will the 37 race the 03?
And it's a question of if the 48 maybe used his stuff up a little bit too much to just make those passes, but they looked fairly easy for him, especially getting by Faircloth. So this time, yeah, Brody has had to work a little harder. He's still having to work hard here. Gets right up alongside the 03. Noah Mahalski, and then still not completed that pass, losing time. And he's not going to be able to complete it this time either. It's really tough down there.
It is, and as this run goes on, you pointed to it. The top becomes more dominant as time goes on, and Osberg passing Mayato here for 5th. I just wonder if Mayato's just giving up too much time here on the short run. It's hard to constantly be on defense as well. You don't want to consistently be on defense here, and I think right now he's on that, and he cannot afford to lose too many more spots. He's got Lovell and his teammate behind who will probably help him out, and this time he'll clear, but sitting 1.3 seconds back, you got to hope these tires that you've been saving are really going to work, because Jeff Wright just got to the lead, and I could already tell he's saving tires in the lead, and Mahalski can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, I think Mayato might have just kicked it into another gear, because he pulled away by 2 car lengths over Ronnie Osmer, and he's now closed right up to the back of Dennis Faircloth pretty much, so I think he might have noticed that, seeing that Jeff got to the lead. That time he goes a 10th and a half faster than Wright. So, yeah, he might have just kicked it up a notch, seeing that he's got to get going here almost 30 laps into the race. Not usually do you have the luxury of going 30 laps green and knowing that you're going to probably be going green for a while, but that is the BTDY Racing League. We've had, I don't know how many caution-free races this season, but over the last few years, they have been just numerous. So many races that have gone completely green.
This is a big pass for Keith Mayato here, because if he doesn't get clear of Faircloth, he won't get clear of Ronnie Osmer, who looks like that has a little bit more pace, although this time he's going to have to slide up here off of 4, and he can't afford to. You got to be aggressive here. You got to just take the position. You got to force Faircloth to just get out of the gas here, because you're gonna burn a little bit of tire here, being on the bottom, pinch down. And then you get Ronnie Osmer to get by you. I can tell you Ronnie Osmer's not going to be an easy pass if he gets around you.
Yeah, he is wheeling it right now. You can see the big slide there off turn 2. All these guys are slowly reeling in the leaders because, like you said, Jeff Wright's saving some tire. There was a moment there, Mahalski almost made a pass back on the 48 while we were watching those other battles. So
I saw that. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know if Noah is really holding back here, just trying to keep Brody behind, but
Mayato is stuck behind the 80 right now. This is hurting him for this long run pace. He's got to get by him. If that means move him. You got to get around him right now. He's holding him up. Slide job something here. This is costing Mayato too much time for the tire he's saving.
He's gonna have to really time the run as well. Oh, there goes Faircloth really deep in the corner though.
He's gonna get a nice run off the corner. Yeah. Let's just get out of the gas. And Mayato he's hurting his tire and he's hurting his time here. This tire that you're saving, yeah, it helps, but now once Wright can kick it into gear, he's got clean air, he's, in the right spot, which no surprise, but you want to have any chance at Jeff Wright, you have to give yourself the opportunity to get to him. And right there, Faircloth making a mistake ahead, and right now this is the perfect opportunity to pass Dennis Faircloth, and he's making mistakes. You can tell he's struggling with his car. Right here, Mayato's just got to slide job him. Throw it into the corner and clear him here, because again, if he gets right here, gets to the gas on the outside, it's just a reoccurring cycle of you're just struggling behind him.
Yeah, just stuck on the bottom there, not able to complete the pass. Mahalski and Hayes were battling for a moment. Mahalski's kind of stuck in that middle line further up. Similar situation for Brody Hayes, just not able to complete the pass, being the faster car probably. So yeah, that's kind of the situation right now. We'll see as the run progresses how the tires wear. But these guys definitely pushing really hard. There goes Hayes, just a brush on the wall, pushing so hard. And
Faircloth did a great job taking the air away from Mayato there. And now Mayato's going to use the outside, like, see if he can get to that right rear quarter panel of Faircloth. But Faircloth doing his best Ryan Newman impression right now. He is not right. And that's fair. That's racing. You're here to race, and he's doing a good job. But in terms for Keith Mayato, he's probably not too pleased. And how about this Ronnie Osberg coming into pit road? Another thing to mention about this race, you could cut this race in half, or you could cut this race into thirds. And I think we're seeing Ronnie Osberg try to cut this race into thirds.
Yeah, looking at lap times, I mean, we're about a second off of the fast times of this race, so he's not going to gain a ton, but he'll gain enough pitting early that he will be in the lead once the cycle completes. And there comes another car as well coming down in. I think it was Todd Giles. Yeah, he's bringing it down here.
Off the wall, off the 4, and now my auto finally got by, but it costed him. I don't know.
A second almost.
In a second, yeah. And Jeff Wright is starting to open up that lead quick. So, Jeff Wright advantage, of course, to no surprise again. But what's Jeff going for? His 8th win of the season?
This would be 8 wins, yeah. This is the 14th race of the season, so over 50%. And he's been near that mark the last few seasons as well. That would be very impressive. I know it's been a little bit of a smaller turnout than we are used to seeing in BTDY, but definitely no small feat to go out there and win that many races already. Yeah. So we've got a really good battle back here now as James Loveland able to pull the slide job on the 80 of Dennis Faircloth. He's pinned in now between the 02 and the 55, but Adkins settles back into position. Chris Samard might be another driver we see charge up here as the run goes on. Very good at saving his stuff. Good on the shorter tracks as well. Looks like Ray Massey, Jeremiah Vincent having their own battle here at the back end of the top 10. They've gotten by Jace Cully, who we had seen move forward in the pack, but has since kind of fallen back here. A couple of positions. And Max Cost, Alan Dice, Jake Mackey all near each other. Dallas Sullivan not far back. Benson Weaver, Ronnie Osmer is back on the track here. He's 1 lap down. Logan Threlkeld, we're seeing an issue for him. He's 6 laps down. Not sure what happened in the 54. Still on the track, but all the way in the back here.
Yeah, needs that fresh tire. You can tell the difference of pace in fresh tires. And Osmer right now, a 24.1, right? A 24.0, or 25.0, excuse me. So this hitting for tires now is interesting, but I think if you want to ideally do a 3-stop, you're going to have to most likely do 45, 90, and then maybe to the end, or honestly, 50, 50, 50 is really the real way you want to do it. But
yeah, it's interesting to see the tire fall off because they've kind of bottomed out here. They're running 25 flats, 25 ones for the top few cars here, all very close in time, and they've been there for, I don't know, about 10 laps now. So yeah, contact between the 77 and the 80. I don't know if they're done yet.
On the exit here, it's going to be very tight on the exit, although they're still side by side on the front stretch. Now Ray Massey behind these two going to catch up.
It looks like Ray maybe was saving his stuff.
Yeah, and Jeremiah Vincent behind them as well. Good pace out of the 3. Oh man, tighten the 3 there with the 80 and the 77, but still 80 going to slide up on the exit. It's going to get really tight on the exit of the corner. Now Massey to the bottom. It's 3 wide for a second, but Samard clears, and now Massey is going to be able to get here to the inside here, and Faircloth just pushed those tires a little too hard here, but he wants to 3-stop it. He only has to go about 7 more laps here, and then he can bring it in.
Tight paddle here as they dive into turn number 3. Ray Massey down low, Faircloth up high. Yeah, he may be one that wants the short pit. And Massey not able to complete the pass. He should be able to get it here maybe through 1 and 2. He's got a good advantage down into the corner. But, yep, does clear him. And now Dennis might try to crossover on the exit. Not quite enough momentum to do that. And you can see these guys starting to slide around a little bit, slide that back end. But still fastest of the cars on original tires as Jeff Wright. And he's extended the gap now over 1 second to Noah Mahalski. About a 10th of a second per lap faster on average here the last few laps.
Yeah, I just think Viato getting stuck behind Faircloth all those laps really hurt his long run pace, and we're noticing that he's about a second behind his teammate, and he hasn't really gained much. They're turning almost identical times, so I just think getting held up there, and it's nothing that Dennis did wrong. He was racing him, and I think right now that might bite Peak Mile later in this race. We'll see. Caution could change everything, of course, but we'll see. I think right here, good battling Cost, Sullivan, Dice going at it. There's Mackey right behind them in the 13.
Yeah,
12, 14 to 15.
Speaking of Jake Mackey, want to give him a big shout out and the team over there at Big Fast Racing. We've got some of their merch, some original graphics created for them up on the VSPEED website if you're interested in that team and want to get some of their merch along with other VSPEED merchandise up there on vspeedsim.com/shop. You check all that out up there. Some really cool stuff for them. And he's having a solid run here, hanging with this this group of cars, and maybe going to get up in this battle. There goes Dallas Sullivan charging to the inside.
Big sand on the bottom here. Didn't get him clear. Costa did a good job holding off on the outside. See if he can just clear. No, he just can't clear me. This might be a good chance to just throw a slide job here into 3. Costa's a good job sending him to the outside, but it's going to hurt his exit because of how much time he had to give up in the center. And I think no matter what, Sullivan's going to clear him.
Yeah, so Dallas starting to move forward up 4 spots. Actually, the biggest mover in this race. So keep an eye on that 46. He had a pretty solid race last week. I think he had a couple of moments in that one where he was up there in the top 10, maybe even closer than that. But right now runs 12th. He's got a little ways to go up to the next couple of cars. Jace Coley actually bringing it in here.
And that's the perfect third strategy there. You hit at 51, you're going to go this amount of laps the entire race. The longest run you'll do. So we'll see everybody else. I think everybody else will be taking a one-stop strategy here with how much they're going. I think Jeff can afford to go one-stopper here. And Mahalski right here, he's holding up Hayes, being a good teammate. But like I said, these two had a run, and I don't know if it'll transpire here, but it seems like no matter what in racing, you always have some sort of beef or any kind of running with anybody. You just always seem to run right with them the next week. Here comes Cost now into pit road.
He's bringing it in. I think they might be able to make it on just one stop, but we'll have to keep an eye on these guys up at the front. It might be a situation where Keith Mayato, if he does a little bit of an undercut, he might be able to gain some of that time back. And if they have to make a second stop, then I don't know. They might even out a little bit better. You can see also Ronnie Osmer. He's finally catching up to these guys. Still 1 lap down, but
he's going to get back on the lead lap quick, and he's going to, I think, have not a lap over the field, but a half a lap. But they'll run him down very quick as well. Yeah. But nonetheless, I mean, doing a good job.
Yeah, he's right now running still about a half a second a lap faster than Jeff Wright. 17 laps into this stint. Ray Massey, James Loveland doing a little bit of a battle back here, 7th and 6th.
That's a good long run pace in the 23.
Yeah, he's really picked it up. You can see he was like almost super saving. He's still 7 seconds behind Jeff Wright, but at the back end here, he's got a lot of grip left in those good years.
Battle for second here, man. Hayes keeps working on Mahalski here. Now Mayato's running these two down, but short track racing, they're gonna make some contact here pretty soon, and these tires are worn out. These cars are slipping and sliding everywhere. Just gotta find a way to just dig deep here. Here comes the bumper to Mahalski here, and that's gonna be interesting. Oh, Mahalski over the bumps there. Hayes, again, they had a run in. We talked about these two getting into it, and right there, that's frustration from last week at Kansas and the week before that. And now Mahalski loses that position, and he's going to be very eager to get back to the 37, and I would not be surprised if there's contact again if these two get near each other.
Oh, and Hayes is in the wall.
Here it comes.
He's doing too much looking in the mirror. Just able to stay away far enough, but Mahalski is not too far back. They're both sliding around. Here comes Mayato. All of this is just slowing these guys down as Jeff Wright continues to pull away. Mayato's been the only one with the same kind of pace as Jeff Wright, but the problem is he's 2.5 seconds back, so he's going to have to try and find that distance somewhere over the next 100 laps, and that's easier said than done when you're going up against a driver like Jeff Wright. But if there's anybody out here that can do that, it would probably be Keith Mayato, already a 3-time winner.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And it looks like Ronnie Osmer able to complete the passes on those guys. Was kind of right there in the middle of all that chaos. And he's got an opportunity now to unlap himself with Jeff Wright, the next car up in front. Chris Marr, Dennis Faircloth going at it back here. They have been battling for quite some time. James Loveland, little contact out of turn 2 into the outside wall. I wonder if any of these guys are going to bring it in here. We've seen Osmer, Coley, Cost, Todd Giles, and Logan Threlkeld have been the drivers to make pit stops, but the rest of the top 14 yet to bring it down.
I think 15 laps you'll see them come in. But you know, I want to point something out. Osmer, right? This is a great battle for second, but I think my auto's gonna have really no issue getting by. My auto's got good long run pace here. We'll see this lap.
10th and a half.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
about 2 up. It's close. I don't think he's gonna be able to run him down, but 15 laps to get after it here could be the way to go. But you know, also point out Osmer on 25 lap older tires, so Jeff has about 36 lap pressure tires, and they are, you know, Osmer only 3/10 faster a lap. That the tire advantage only lasts for about 20 laps, and then they even out quick. So we'll see. But I mean, Jeff's still in that 1.2, 1.3 seconds worth of fall off here. I just find that hard to really undercut. You get to undercut quick, and you can hold off the guy behind you for a couple laps and get to about 20, 25 laps on tires, and it, you know, it'll even out quick.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how this works out for Ronnie Osmer. I don't think this is going to be a winning strategy necessarily. He will have the lead and hope that a yellow comes out probably, but he's going to have to, I would think, make at least one more stop. I don't think he can make it just on the one that he already did. I know it's not quite a mile-long track, but that's a lot of laps to go.
It'll be quick. And pit road's slow. It's only 40 mile an hour. And for Jeff Wright here, he's kind of, now I'm starting to notice near driving the 20 a little bit, but the tire advantage is so different. And then you can see Jeff make a mistake here, but for Jeff, you don't want to get caught up racing the 20. You know he's going to be by you here. And right here, although, going to get a nice run here off of turn 4. And Osmer's going to get a little bit frustrated with the 48. But I think Jeff knows that if he could at least pin him behind, that would help. And now keep my auto. Did he bring it? What happened?
He dropped out for a second there, but...
Oh, Osmer had a big moment there off of turn number 2, and he almost got into Jeff Wright.
Yeah, I think he's
Osmer's
just...
all he's got here. And I think this time he'll finally get by, and Jeff's going to get pinned on that bottom, sliding that car around. You know, that could have been a big moment for Keith to run Jeff down here, but I just think it's hurting his pace. He hasn't been as fast as Jeff. He's constantly circulating about a tenth and a half better maybe, and I think now he hasn't been able to gain Jeff's much better on center off than Keith is.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here with the 20 in front. He might throw a little dirty air on the 48. That could slow him down a little bit. Not something he's had most of this race. Obviously didn't lead the first few laps, but yeah, Keith that time just about a half-tenth faster, but it's just not going to get him there. It'll get him a little closer before they make their pit stops. And he's going to have a lightning stop and perfect execution getting on and off of pit road. As Dallas Sullivan, Dennis Faircloth fighting for position here. Chris Samartis slipped all the way back to 13th. Not sure what happened in 77. Has not made a pit stop or anything, but he slipped all the way back here. James Loveland as well has fallen back. So not sure if they burned their stuff up or got into an incident there that we missed. But they've fallen towards the rear of the pack. Meanwhile, Alan Dice, Jeremiah Vincent, Dennis Faircloth, all these guys up in the top 10. Jake Mackey right there knocking on the door. So yeah, interesting comers and goers. Not exactly who you'd expect at the back of the field right now.
Oh, Jeff's now, he's getting the effects of the dirty air a little bit on Osmer, and Osmer, he's almost even completely out with Jeff Wright, and I'm curious to see how long is Ronnie going to go, because he's almost about to enter exactly to what he pitted at. He's very close. I mean, he pits now. I mean, he's costed himself a lap basically, but he's going to have to go to about lap 100. So he's going to almost have to go 60 laps here to get to the end. So 63 in total. It'll be a little bit shorter than the run that you see Jeff and everybody else being on, but I don't know if the 3-stop strategy is going to work. It'll be interesting. If caution comes out, of course, he's going to basically get saved by the bell, but, you know, it'll be really tough.
Yeah, we've got a lot more distance between most of these cars now, but once you get fresh tires on a few of them, they're starting to, you know, have that tire differential between some of the guys who haven't pitted yet. And we could see some incidents occur. It's a tough pit road to also get onto here. A very tight entrance.
This Demar really fallen off. Loveland, like you said, falling off as well. They have really pushed their tires hard. I mean, 12th, 13th, They're struggling. Faircloth cutting back around them, and look at this battle in the front stretch. Faircloth, Vincent, Koss 3 wide into turn 1. This could be the caution that nobody's hoping for.
Yeah, and Ronnie Osmer's not hoping for it yet because he'd just have to bring it right back down. And
oh, it's got to be careful coming up like that, man.
Close call, and here goes Jeremiah Vincent, going to go down to the inside, try and complete the pass on the 80. And not going to be able to clear him just yet. They remain side by side. We saw a moment there. Brody Hayes actually got the nose out in front of the 36, Keith Mayato, up in second.
These guys racing each other hard. You know, Brody and Keith racing each other hard is just not going to do much for them now. Faircloth going down the bottom. I guess he's pitting here.
That's what it looks like.
It's got to be very. This pit road comes at such an angle. Look at how tough you have to get the car to slow down, number one, and then you have to make a sharp left-hand turn to get in. And it seems like that was working out. Dallas Sullivan, really good pace. Longman was actually the fastest car on the racetrack that last lap.
Yeah, very cool. And here comes Ray Massey, it looks like. He's going to bring it in. So a few of these top drivers. Yeah, Brody Hayes is down. So the top two still out there. Mahalski also on the track is Jeff Wright. He's going to commit first.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's going to have to follow here.
That's the cover up Brody Hayes there. And here comes Mahalski. Here comes Mayato. Foley stays out. Get him back on the lap. Now, with ease, Ronnie Osmer will come and get the lead here. He's actually going to put Jeff Wright a lap down, believe it or not. So, be very interesting to see how Ronnie Osmer's strategy will work out here. And Jeremiah Vincent stays out. And now Vincent will take the lead, actually. Now, Jeff Wright in his pit box, then Mayato into his pit box, Mahalski into his, although he overshoots his. And now Osmer goes by for the lead. Mackey leaves his box, and Wright just getting servicing his car. Now he's gone and away, and Osmer's going into turn 3, so he's about a half a track ahead, almost a full track ahead, or 2/3 of the way ahead, most likely.
Yeah.
Start finish line now, so a half a track behind Jeff Wright. Caution comes out. Guys to run about 5-10 laps, then a caution to come out. Then you're set up perfectly, because everybody's gonna have to pit. So we'll see Hayes kind of stuck behind the 01 here off of 4 of Benson Weaver. He gets it now past, but still Jeff Wright just absolutely annihilated everybody off the pit road. So.
Yeah, 40.4 seconds on pit road for the 48. The next closest, Keith Mayato, 40.9, but that's still a half second difference right there, you know? That's just another level of execution. Perfect execution, entry, exit. Osmer has the lead over Jace Cully, who also pit 27 laps ago.
Yeah, a little bit earlier than the 20, so it'll be interesting, but he's still only a 10th off, which is not enough, but Holly can make it work better because he'll pit at 50 and then go to the end, where Osmer is going to have to go still another 20 or so laps before he pits, most likely. Although it could work out, and again, remember, we are not going to see Jeff Wright and Brody Hayes and Keith Miles. They're not pitting again, so these guys still are going to have to pit Jace Coley and Ronnie Osmer. And they'll be on offense, but we saw that last run. I just don't know if it's going to mean enough. And another possibility that you could do here, and you wait 20 laps, Jeff Wright's going to have 24 laps on his tires. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be worth the strategy.
Yeah, they're trying everything they can to get past that 48 machine. It's been dominant this season. Looks to be that way here so far tonight. We're going to go side by side while these guys race it up here just past halfway. We'll hear from our sponsors and be right back with more action.
Sailor Tower Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tower reader. known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs. You can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Back at the racetrack, just catching the pass for the lead. Jeff Wright's going to go by Ronnie Osmer and take over the top spot once again. He has led a lot of laps. We'll do our quick rundown through the field here at Iowa for the KHIO 150. Jeff Wright started in that 4th position. He's led 53 laps, just getting his 54th now. Up here in the race lead. Ronnie Osmer on an alternate strategy has led 11 laps after starting in 11th, currently runs in that 2nd position. Brody Hayes started 5th, runs up in 3rd right now. We'll see if he's going to be able to close the distance at all to the 48. Keith Mayato, who started on the pole, led 3 laps and then immediately dropped back, trying to conserve tires, and right now runs in that 4th spot. Noah Mahalski, very strong at the very beginning, runs 5th right now after starting 3rd, led 8 laps. Chase Coley, good run from him. He's on an alternate strategy as well in that 6th position. Cody Adkins, solid race in 7th. Max Cost runs in the 8th position, also on an alternate pit strategy. Ray Massey 9th. Dennis Faircloth, who led 11 laps early in this one, started up there in 2nd, currently runs in the top 10. And trying to hang on to that. Here comes Dallas Sullivan in the 11th spot. 12th is Alan Dice. 13th is Jake Mackey. Jeremiah Vincent runs in the 14th position in the number 3 machine. He's got pressure from Chris Samard. These two 1 lap down, so maybe some issues on pit lane putting them behind. Or rather, that may have been, I think it may have been a slow pit stop for both of those drivers. James Loveland back here at 16th. Benson Weaver 17th. Todd Giles Jr. in the 18th position. Logan Threlkeld's taking it behind the wall and is out of the race, but Jeff Wright hanging on to a good solid lead here, 3.5 seconds, as Brody Hayes is finally taking away 2nd spot.
Finally here, but Ronnie, again, he's going to have to wait another 8 or so laps, which not too bad. So we'll see, what he'll be able to shake out. He's obviously going to be on a defensive strategy. He'll have 20 or so lap pressure tires here. He can't afford to give up too much more time here. I'm just curious to see where he can rally back up to. I don't think we're going to be talking about him getting the win, but for sure, top 10, maybe a top 5. It's going to take a lot of, Keith Mayato got the wall there.
Yeah, he went really wide on the entry, and it's cost him a bunch through that set of corners. Osmer almost caught the wall with him, so just kind of misjudged the entry to the turn a little bit. But they continue to race on. There's James Loveland behind. He's on slightly fresher tires than the leaders, just a lap or so. But he's not the run that I would have expected from James. Just not had the pace, especially after the beginning of the race. He had closed up quite a bit inside the top 10, and must have had some kind of an issue there that we missed Lost a
Just
lot of
didn't have
ground.
the full long run speed I think
Yeah.
that we were probably expecting out of him, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And struggling here on pace, and you can see Osmer. I mean, Loveland has 18 lap pressure tires in him, and
30 or
oh,
41.
Sorry, 41 more pressure tires. So you can just tell the difference. It's a lot.
Yeah, big difference right there. Noah Halski still hanging tough in the top 5. It's been a good race for him, leading 8 laps. Like you said, he's been knocking on the door for a win. Had the short run pace tonight, but maybe a little too much to have that long run pace up against 48, 37, and 36. But you know, he's definitely continuing to improve, and you know, things still are far from over here. We've got more than 50 laps to go. It's not Jeff Wright's race just yet. Anything can happen.
Yeah, and caution comes out, race changes completely, but a lot of cars going lap down the lead. 12 cars in the lead lap here. 2 seconds to throw down, and I possibility we can have top 10 or less than 10 cars finish on the lead lap here.
Yeah, you don't see that very often in many leagues. It does happen occasionally when you've got a driver who's just lights out, and also you don't get any cautions. That's a big factor in it, right? If you get any breaks in a race, it's very rare to see that few cars finish on the lead lap. But these guys are pretty good at keeping things green. We haven't seen any really even close calls so far in this one.
You're right. I mean, there's been a couple close calls, but nothing that you would think, oh, you know, throw a caution. I think last year we definitely had a wreck or two that could have received caution, and it wasn't. But you know, still long way to go. But these laps have clicked off really quick. We're almost not even an hour into this race, and we're almost done with it. So it goes by quick here.
Yeah, you kind of get in a rhythm at this track too. I find it's a really, you know, you just end up running down into that low groove here on this end of the track. I like to run through the bumps a little bit, like Chris Samart just did right there, and then you power back on exit, get down into the corner nicely here in turn 3, kind of let that car rotate, get back to the throttle, and it's almost mesmerizing at a track like this. There are a few tracks like that where you just get in a rhythm, and it's just kind of you can click laps off really easily.
For sure. I completely agree. But like I said, this track, I felt like I was never the best at it, but I did enjoy coming to this track, and I felt like this track was really underrated. It's better, in my opinion, better than Richmond. I know many people don't agree with that, but I'm so glad that it got a cup date. I feel like this track, you know, they were begging for a cup date to happen, and finally got one. I thought it was a great race last year, given all the weirdness of not fully repaving the track, but it was interesting.
Yeah, definitely was excited when they announced that they were going to be racing there, and it's been fun in the Xfinity Series to see them race here, and the trucks as well. But looks like 20 of Osmer's brought it in. We'll see how things cycle out. Jeff Wright is at the start-finish line. Osmer already 1 lap down, so he's going to be almost 2 laps down. So I don't know that he may get back to the lead lap by the time that this is over, but it's going to be close, and maybe just good enough for a top 10.
Yeah, look at the pace he's got. You can't now afford to push the tires through. You got 50 laps, but you don't want to push it too hard now, and you got a caution. You're really going to be put behind the 8 ball. I mean, you'll take the wave, hope for another caution, get back on the same tire strategy, but we'll see it again. Anything's still possible here. Max Koss came in, Jace Coley came in as well, so I think all teammates, if I'm not mistaken, on that 3-stop strategy, but not going to work out when you have a guy like Jeff Wright with the pace he has. Oh, Coley got into the back of Brody Hayes in the middle of 3 and 4, and it was a tense moment for the 36. You can see the 37 not too happy with him.
It looked like he was going to try and get right back into him. That's what it looked like. You know, Brody doesn't always take too kindly to people making contact, but always up there challenging for the wins. You know, I mean, he's actually shaved some time off of Jeff Wright's lead, but that may be the 48 just trying to not, you know, step on his own feet here and just run nice clean laps. But yeah, I mean, again, still far from over. Something could happen, right? Could get caught up with one of these guys on fresh tires, you know, closing in behind, and anything can go wrong here. It's not over till the checkered flag waves, but still
that is for sure.
Some battles going on here. Dennis Faircloth, Dallas Sullivan, inside the top 10. These guys fighting for every position they can get.
Yeah, this is a good battle. It's Dallas really good speed on the long run. But like we said, I think before the pit stops happened, he was the fastest car on the racetrack. So definitely got good long run pace. I don't know if it's going to get him a top. Oh, although he got in the wall there, but I don't know if it's going to get him a top 5. But it's a possibility because of his long run pace. And you'll see with much fresher tires than Dennis Faircloth, although that mistake's going to hit him behind the 80 again, and it's going to be another tough pass to remake. But we'll see here. He's got to make quick work of Dennis Faircloth again. He just cleared him and gave it right back up. So now, you know, it's going to cost him some time, but he's been faster than Ray Massey. He's been a little bit faster than, definitely faster than Cody Atkins. Not as fast as Ray Massey, if not a couple hundredths. But this time, Faircloth got high, and now Dallas will clear. But maybe Dallas has an outside opportunity. It's 3 seconds up the road, but it's possible with the long run pace he's had. Although he just let Faircloth get back up to the outside again.
I think they're just having some fun here. They want to have a battle to the end of this thing. But yeah, it's been interesting to see. 80 very good on the short run. Obviously has, you know, the outright pace to qualify well, and Dallas has been, you know, much more smooth and consistent lap after lap. But you can even see here the 80 pushing so hard, and Dallas just kind of taking it a little easier down there on the inside. That's allowed Dennis to get back alongside a couple of times. These guys are not too far up the road from Jeff Wright. They're just a few seconds away from being lapped, and that is just wild, because those guys are not slow. These are good drivers, you know. These are good, solid drivers. A lot of experience here in BTDY, and they've run a clean race, and Jeff Wright has just been that good here in this one at Iowa, like he's been all season. Looking at it here, Chris Samard, just a lap fresher tires or so. He's still within range of maybe unlapping himself, and lap times, he's actually one of the quickest cars on the track. So I don't know what happened with Chris exactly. Not the race he would have liked, but still going for a top 10 here.
Hey, good battle for second now. Mayato's really needing Hayes here. He's starting to struggle a little bit with that car. Mayato's having some issues, but here he comes to the bottom.
It's that Canadian internet. That's what I had last week when I was in the race too.
Man, you gotta get that figured out.
Yeah. No, I think my issue, I was on the wrong Wi-Fi network. That'll do it, you know.
There you go. Okay, I don't get that.
Here we go though. Mayato on the top side, not gonna get a little bit of a run here, right up to the back bumper of his teammate. They have closed in on Jeff Wright a couple more tenths over the last couple laps, so I'm not sure if they're kind of working together, drafting. You can't really gain a whole lot.
I got draft here.
Yeah. Like, you can't really gain that much doing that at this track, being the size that it is, unless you're in an Indy car. But
down a lot. Yeah, true. Indy car, you can get a little draft here, which is always crazy to think about. Here in, did they ever race at Gateway?
Gateway, yeah. A couple of really tough tracks, if you think about it, in terms of an oval. They're bumpy. Both of them have some bumps and tight corners.
Now, Gateway now is repaved now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For sure, Iowa, although Iowa's, I don't know what you want to call it, partially repaved? I guess, I don't know, but I wish they would have fully repaved this track and not just the corners. I found that a little odd, but I think that's going forward going to be the idea, I would hope. But it would be very weird to not repave the full track and let the new surface that you put down a year ago kind of get old and then repave the top, because then you just make the top too dominant. I don't really know. I don't really know how they're going to do that, but it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think they should just maybe they scrape off what they put down in the bottom lane, just redo the whole thing. But I really like the track as is, honestly. But yeah, we'll see how long they let it age. I know NASCAR not the best at making decisions about how they treat the surfaces of their tracks sometimes, but they've gotten better at that here in a couple of recent tracks, that come to my mind. But a lot of racing still yet to go in this one. The KHIO 150 at Iowa. Jeff Wright out in front still. He's led 84 laps, about to put the 5 machine of Alan Dice a lap down. That would be the 9th place car. And Ronnie Osmer is about a half second a lap faster. It's not going to be enough to get into the top 5 even before the end of this race, I think. Well, actually, it might be. Yeah, I'm looking at the distance up to Cody Adkins there. It's possible.
Possible, but he's not going to be back on the lead lap. His pace is not. They're only 3/10 faster. He's not going to be back on the lead lap, unfortunately, in his case. But he'll get a couple more spots. He'll pick off the next couple of cars and definitely get back in the top 10. But in top 5 will be a stretch. Although Ray Massey, man, he's like we said, good long run pace, reeling in
Cody Adkins there.
Cody Atkins, yeah, and Dallas Sullivan, another driver, really good pace. And now Jace Coley, who's been on those fresher tires, trying to get around him here, but can't seem to do it.
Just about clears the 55 of Atkins, and I think Cody may just let him go here.
Yeah. Good decision.
The Duke's Mayo machine. Cody Atkins trying to hang on for a top 5. Ray Massey, the Clark Print Shop mobile, trying to hang on here as well. Maybe get up there, get another top 5 finish. I think both these guys in the chase for the championship as well. So trying to get, every position they can for points. Good solid turnout still late into the season. A lot of leagues, a lot of times you'll see drivers kind of, if they're not in the chase or fighting for a championship, maybe not come back. But they do give the Hard Charger award to drivers here. So top finishing driver outside of the chase, as well as in the point standings, maybe the 13th place in points. There's an award for that as well. Pretty cool to do that, and really incentivizes guys to keep coming back this late into the season.
I really think it's been a really good season for the lower car count. Probably one of the lowest car counts we've seen for, you add it all up averagely for a year. But I wish Daytona didn't go the way it kind of did. I mean, it was a good finish, right? But, for most of that race, I think we only had 8 or 9 competitive cars. We didn't get to see the full field race because of the big wrecks early.
Right.
And that's another Jeff Wright, too. He got taken out early in that race. And to have the points that he has and all the wins that he's got and get where he's at in points is really remarkable and impressive, and a testament to Jeff Wright. This is a good battle now for second. Finally, my auto got to the outside of his teammate. I think he'll be able to clear here off the 2. Although he's getting a little tight in the marbles, but he'll carry momentum off and he'll get the lead. Or get the second, sorry.
So 1, 2, 3, the same order that we saw last week at Kansas.
Yeah.
And it's come about a little bit differently in this one. We saw Keith challenging a little bit closer maybe last week at Kansas, and this time, I mean, had the pole, had the first 2 laps led, but that strategy to drop back, not been able to fully recover from it yet. Still runs second, still has the pace to match the times of the 48. This time here about a 10th quicker, and actually Brody Hayes a little faster.
That one battle with Dennis there, he just gave up a little bit too much tire, and he gave up a little bit too much time. And I think that was the key. Just if he would have stayed ahead of the 80, maybe he would have had a chance to use that long pace where he's only a second back, or a half a second back. But getting caught up there, you use up your tires, you stay in a 2-3 second gap, and it's really hard to make it back up. And now Massey's still stuck behind Cody Atkins. Like you said, we're going to say, I think Jeff Wright about to lap Dennis Faircloth here.
Yeah, Dennis, who was up here leading the race at one point very early on. Seeing a driver who took the lead away from him. Going to come back around here to put him a lap down. Not something you see very often happen in a race, right? Somebody who is up front. But you can see the cloud covers come out as well. And so the track conditions may be changing a little bit more as this race has gone on as well. We'll see. Yeah, 88-degree track temp from 100 where we started. So car's going to handle very differently than it would have at the start.
For sure. And Cody Atkins and Rick Massey are going at it right now.
Yeah, they want that top 5, and I don't blame them. Oh boy!
Oh, look at that! Caution, a hard hit!
Oh!
Oh no! And there's the caution. Jeff Wright just misses it, and that is the wreck that will change this race with a changing track. And
Wow.
oh my goodness.
They were battling hard, and they battled just a little too hard here with 23.
That's a shame for Dallas, too, who was having a good run. Same for Cody, and that looked just like, hard race. Come down, come up, and then Dallas nowhere to go. He's running on the bottom.
Wow. And Cody Atkins completely got off the ground right there. I don't know if you saw in the replay there. We'll take another look at this slow motion head on in the 55 machine, and then at speed here, all the way into the air. Nowhere for Dallas Sullivan to go. Yellow flag is out for the first time tonight, and Jeff Wright's going to bring him down here, I would think. Yeah, here we go.
Surprised he didn't. Let's see, Christian Mart's just coming in to come in. I think that's going to give Alan Dice the lucky dog, if I'm not mistaken.
Either Alan Dice or if Dennis Faircloth. Yeah, no, Faircloth wasn't quite lapped yet, so he's going to stay on the lead lap just by the skin of his teeth there. And
so Jeremiah, Vincent, Ronnie Osborne, Jace Coley, all the way back to Max Cost. A couple of these guys are 2 laps down. Jace Coley did the first car on their last car on the lead lap here, but important pit stops here. I don't think anybody's trying to think fancy after 50 laps worth of racing, but give Jeff Wright the lead. But now Keith Maiato, we talked about him having the even pace. Well, guess what? Keith Maiato is there.
Yeah, he might even be better on the short run. He did have the pole, so he had the fastest lap, on a short run like that. He was also fastest in practice. So yeah, it could be very interesting between these two. This was the chance that he needed. It was also the chance Ronnie Osborne needed probably about 30 laps ago, 30 or 40 laps ago. But ultimately, it gets him back on the lead lap, just not where he would have liked. But 31 lap old tires along with Jace Cully, and then Jeremiah Vincent on 55 lap old tires, and Alan Dice could be on 57 laps. He actually, like you said, gets the lucky dog, brings it in. He'll be in a good spot here. Back in 7th place. Yeah, only 10 cars on the lead lap. Samard, Mackey, Loveland, all those guys electing to bring it in, get new tires, and stay a lap down.
Cautions breed cautions here. This part of the race can get really crazy here, and guys knowing now we're back to even. There's no long runs happening. This is the time to go.
Wow, I completely just did not expect any cautions to happen, and that was just hard racing, really. Huge hit for Cody Atkins. Got a feel for him having a top 5 run, and then Dallas Sullivan, both those guys admins here. Just unfortunate incident there. Collects both of them, and Jeff Wright will be in control on the restart here. Keith Maiato gonna looks like Jeff's gonna take the outside line, and
I like that. I like that. Carry momentum. You got a teammate working with you here.
Oh, that could be part of it too. Yeah, they may time the restart, and then that could pin Keith all the way back into 3rd if Noah's able to complete a pass. It could also open up an opportunity for Noah Mahalski to maybe get a win.
We thought Noah have good pace here.
And look at Dennis Faircloth just back here.
Yeah. He's got more opportunity opened up for these guys here.
You see him trying to scrub the tires here, get all of the old chunks of rubber, any debris off of those Goodyear Eagles. Nice and sticky now. Pace car going to bring it down onto pit road, and field in the hands of Jeff Wright. He's going to go early. Maiato does not time it super well. Could be 3 wide here. Look at Brody Hayes up the middle.
That'll be an interesting, I don't know how they'll call that. This gonna keep it loose. Hey, get hit by his teammate, and look at Mahalski.
Oh no!
Wow, that could be the championship's hopes. Yes, in a 1 wreck, and that is race-ending damage for the 03 and the 36. And we talk about cautions breeding cautions, and there it is again. And a little help from his teammate, and like we just said, that could be his championship hopes over.
Yeah, it all kind of started with that slip. You can see just overstepped it into turn 1, gets kicked up the track a little bit there, and then it's kind of just nowhere. I mean, Dennis Faircloth gets into the side of him. Mahalski, nowhere for him to go. And my auto engine smoking. You can see that suspension completely broken on that car. Mahalski, I think, might be able to at least run it out to the end. I don't see smoke.
I don't know if he's going to be able to run it. That suspension is destroyed. He got left front end to right front to the wall. He lost a good piece of that car, most likely. That puts the guys who took the wave around in a good spot, but wow.
Yeah.
What a wreck. That is a shame. On top of the three in the cautions, there it is.
Yeah, two of the fastest cars besides Jeff Wright taken out in it. Dennis Faircloth got a piece of it as well. Yeah, he's got some right rear damage.
I'd be curious to see how much damage he has. Oh, yeah. He might be,
yeah,
he's going to be severely hurt. Most likely. He caught Keith Mayato's left rear to his right rear suspension, so that really might affect his handling. And looking at everything, I think Jake Mackey's going to be the lucky dog here.
Yeah, it looks to be the case, and it also looks like Jeremiah Vincent and Ronnie Osmer and Jace Coley taking that gamble there, able to get some fresh tires put on. I think Chris Samard actually is your lucky dog in this one. Yeah.
My lucky dog? Oh, he was,
yeah. He got his lap back, so he'll get some fresh tires on there and see what he can do with that. Still just 9 cars on the lead lap, seeing as Keith Mayato out of this one, and Noah Mahalski also parked it here on pit lane. So a couple of drivers knocked out of this one late that are championship contenders. I mean, Keith Mayato, like you said, that could be his championship up in smoke right there. That early into the chase with how good the 48's been all season.
Well, yeah, for sure, and that's a shame because Keith was, like we said, he was the only car that in these last 2 races that could compete with the 48, and unfortunately, that's it. You know. Unless another, and now you need Jeff Wright to have 2 bad races, I'm afraid.
Yeah, he started with that huge advantage from winning the regular season championship, having 6 wins in the regular season. And can't say he doesn't deserve to have the points lead. I mean, he has fully earned that. And that's kind of the benefit of it. You can actually afford to have a couple of bad races. Everybody else trying to catch up to you, and
you're at the point you can't have a bad race.
Yeah. And Brody Hayes, just looking for a victory, I think would be his main goal here. He hasn't been to victory lane in quite some time. In that 37 machine, is always up here fighting for it, and just has finished runner-up. I think a couple seasons ago he finished runner-up like 4 out of the first 5 races or something like that. It was some crazy number, and always right there. Can he get it done? He was my pick. I know you didn't have a pick,
but
he
was your pick.
I
was probably going to be Keith, most likely, although leaving Jeff out there would have been tempting. But, Brody won here a couple years ago, too. So.
That is true, yeah. Yeah, I think that was his last victory in this series, as he'll have a shot at it once again here, coming to 11 laps to go. Pace car brings it in. Jeff right down on the inside line for this restart.
Oh.
Big stack up with Alan Dice right there.
Dice probably got some damage out of them. I know Ray Massey definitely got something because, maybe not. It looked like he hit him pretty hard. I'm not going to lie, but keep it going here. Now battle for second. Wright gets after the lead, but these boys better, if they want, they got to sort it out. They want to have a chance. How about Jeremiah Vincent to 4th?
Wow, what a race for him, up 4 positions.
Faircloth damage is definitely showing. He is struggling with the handling of that car. Look at this. Coley diving it 3 wide to the bottom. Oh, there goes Faircloth loose in front of Loveland, and around he goes. Oh, and a hard hit for Loveland. Giles now gets into it, and that was bound to happen with the rear end damage that Faircloth had, and that car was already destroyed. And unfortunately, James Loveland, an innocent bystander, taking his lucky dog in his race. And that gives Jake Mackey the lucky dog, possibly, although he has damage to his car. And yeah, just the damage there from the 80 was not in a good aero position there going into 3. And
it almost looked like the tire went down. That's the way that almost looked, right? Like the right rear went down, and oh boy.
Yeah, man. Samard got a piece of that as well. I think he got some right front damage because the left rear of Mackey is damaged. I think you can see the 77 into the 13 making contact.
Yeah, I thought Chris was spinning, and when I flashed back over to him, he was actually able to keep it straight. But yeah, you can see a little piece of that. Let's go on board here.
Unfortunately for Mackie, that's going to take his lucky dog chances away because he's credited with being involved in the wreck. And so that, I think, is going to give Benson Weaver the lucky dog, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see here when they come across the start-finish line, but I believe because Mackie was involved, Benson Weaver will be the beneficiary of that lucky dog, and he is.
You're
so
correct.
Benson Weaver gets into the top 10 now and back on the lead lap, and honestly might get have a chance at a top 5 because of the car's damaged. How about Jeremiah Benson, another one, like we said, up in the fourth, good rebound. How about Ronnie Osmer as well? Back
Alan
up into the
Dice
top.
as well.
Alan Dice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
For sure.
Yeah, and these guys, they raced their way back up there. Ronnie Osmer catching a couple breaks here to get back into this one. Started 11th. I think he's got pretty good speed on the short run. So keep an eye on the 20. Maybe try and get up on the podium. But I think our top 2 are going to be the ones fighting for the win. We'll see when we get the one to go here under the caution. But it's going to come
Brody's
down.
gonna have the time to restart. That's for sure.
So tough to do here on iRacing. I think it's harder in iRacing to do it than in real life. To time your restart with the lag over the internet. Even just a few millisecond delay, right? And it's more than that. So it can be tough to really get those right. You almost have to anticipate it and jump early, just at a set time, and hope that you're going at the right time. But
It's going to be very hard for Brody to time it. If he can, and if Jeff doesn't take the outside and takes the inside, if Brody can time it, just stay on his right rear quarter panel going to turn 1 and 2. If you by that time, by the exit, as long as you don't mess up, you're there side by side with them. You can pin them down, and it's advantage you. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you can get to the right rear of these cars, that's the way to do. Take all the side force away. Put them in a spot where they have to lift, and you can carry the momentum on the outside. I mean, you're golden.
Yeah, looks like the 48. I think he kind of he's a step ahead of us. Yeah, I think he had the same exact thoughts as you. He's like, I'm not even going to make it a possibility. So now this is a tough position for Brody to be in. He's not going to have many laps. It'll be 5 to go when they take the green flag.
You might have to use the bumper if it's the only chance, realistically. If he can't stay with right.
And Jeremiah Vincent, a couple lap fresher tires, although I think pretty much the same essentially with all these caution laps. But just a recap here real quickly before we go green. We've had 5 lead changes in this race, most of it happening early on and under the pit cycles. There could be another one here in the last few moments. 3 cautions in this one after going green for 130 laps, basically. Pace car is in. Maybe one last opportunity. Jeff Wright in control. Green flag is out. And what a jump by Jeremiah Vincent to get up there and battle for second.
Hayes might lose that second position to Jeremiah Vincent, who's really rolling. How about the 3 to the inside? He might have a chance to the 48 here. He gets sideways. He almost hits the 37. Jeremiah Vincent, can he pull off a massive upset?
Trying to cut it down the hill here. The 48 still in control. And Brody Hayes has pulled it back alongside. What a good turns 1 and 2, though. And Jeremiah is giving it everything it's got. Almost overstepped it there. This battle, though, enough to get the 48 out in front. Now the 3 catches the wall. And it...
He's loose! He's got to save it! Can he save it? Yes, he can! What a save! Osmer gets up to 3rd! How about Dice now? It's a shame for the 3, but now Dice up to 4th. Going to the bottom. 3 wide sitting.
He's going to make it stick. And there goes Ray Massey.
Big save out of the 23. Coming to 2 to go here. Jeff Wright praying these boys keep it clean.
And Brody Hayes hoping that the 48 steps over the line just a little bit, but that's a little contact for him in the wall now, the 37. And battle back here, Samard and Coley fighting for a top 5. How about Jace Coley?
Wow, trying to get his top 5 on an oval finally, although he's going to have to battle Chris Samard a lap and a half to go. Once the white flag comes out, this race is official, which Jeff Wright just might see here off of turn number 4. He will. 1 lap to go from Iowa. It's a battle for 4th on back. Can Hayes reel him in?
0.4 of a second. He's going to have the best lap of his life. But he's pulled it a little bit closer. How about this 3 wide? Alan Dice back here just trying to hang on to a top 5 as well. Samard gets to the outside. Here comes Coley. But out of turn 4, it's the 48 of Jeff Wright. His 8th win of the season comes at Iowa. And what a battle to the line. Samard goes.
What a rebound for Chris Samard to get up the 4th.
He was nearly 2 laps down at one point in this race. Finishes in 4th. Taking advantage of the opportunities there. What a wild last couple of laps there, Alec. I can't believe Jeremiah Vincent was up there 2nd. Nearly wrecks. We have 2 other cars nearly wrecked. And Jeff Wright, he survives it all as he often does. And takes the victory once again. He'll burn it down here at Iowa.
What a great race at the end. And man, those guys really gave it their all. Jeremiah Vincent was trying to get there. And man, it just, wow. What a great ending and a lot of good finishes. And man, oh man, wild ending to this one that was, clean and green. And
yeah, just unanticipated to see so many quick yellows and then a really just exciting drive to the end there. But congrats to Jeff Wright. We'll interview him and the rest of the top 3 after a quick commercial break.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
We're back at the track here for the KHIO 150 at Iowa. And Jeff Wright is your winner here tonight. Brody Hayes 2nd, Ronnie Osmer 3rd. We're going to go through our race results and then interview our top 3 drivers. After a very exciting finish to this one. 3 cautions, 5 total lead changes. And Jeff Wright hangs on to get his 8th victory of the season and take a commanding lead in the championship. Brody Hayes tried as he might, got to 2nd and just not quite enough to get up there for the victory. Ronnie Osmer recovers all the way back from nearly 2 laps down to 3rd place finish here tonight. Chris Samard, again, a great recovery from him as well, finishes 4th. Alan Dice in the 5th spot. Jace Coley, strong finish in 6th here. Jeremiah Vincent, who had a shot at it in those last few laps, finishes in the 7th spot. Ray Massey finishes 8th. Benson Weaver in the 9th spot. Dennis Fairclough, even with the damage and the late wreck, finishes in the top 10.
Then Max Cost was 11th after an up and down race. Jake Mackey 12th. Todd Giles Jr. comes home in 13th. Then we get to the guys that are involved in many incidents or big incidents. James Loveland 14th, and a huge blow to the points for Keith Mayato, who comes home in 15th from the pole. 16th, Noah Mahalski. 17th, Dallas Sullivan. Cody Atkins was 18th, and Logan Thurkeld was in 19th. And all those drivers from 14th below, either out of the race or involved in an incident. And how about the driver on our screen? Ronnie Osmer probably had the wildest race, and I believe Adam Baker is standing with him.
Yes, sir. Ronnie, this is Adam and Alec in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, very up and down race, basically as extreme as you can get there. You led some laps. You were almost 2 laps down towards the back of the pack, and ultimately it works out for you with some late cautions. You get the track position back. Just describe this race and your third place finish here tonight.
Well, I tried for something risky. It's just, of course, like either you gonna follow a leader or you gotta try something different. There's no beating Jeff straight up on tire saving, so I tried something different. Tried for go for an aggressive 2-stop instead of a 1-stop like probably everybody else was doing. And yeah, it was a risk worth taking. And luckily the cautions came out at the end at the right time. And was able to take advantage of them, and fortunately up here.
Yeah, definitely a wild turn of events, but way to take advantage of all of that and get yourself up here on the podium for another strong finish. We go to Chicagoland next week. Kind of a rough old track as well as Iowa is, but obviously very different shape. How do you feel about going out there and trying to get another podium or maybe go for the win there?
Gonna do what I can. I like running old Chicagoland, and I normally do well there, but just hopefully someone runs into Jeff or something to give us a chance, because it's all of us against him.
Yeah, and you guys gave it your best, run at it here tonight. The strategy definitely, gave you an opportunity at various points throughout this race, but a very strong finish nonetheless in the 3rd spot. Ronnie, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to that makes this possible for you?
Shout out to my guys Firelight, PH Ware, and you guys for broadcasting.
Awesome, Ronnie. Well, thanks for taking some time here. Congrats on a top 3 finish, and we'll catch you next week at Chicagoland.
Thank you.
That is your 3rd place finisher, Ronnie Osmer. We're going to go to 2nd place now. That is going to be Mr. Brody Hayes. And Alec, I believe you're with him.
Brody, Adam, and Alec in the VC booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, we're talking to you again here. Runner up to Jeff Wright. Got wild there at the end. A lot of contact with the teammate and all that. Take us through those final, what seemed to be 20 laps of chaos.
Yeah, the initial restart, I knew me and Keith were kind of sitting ducks on the bottom with Jeff and Noah restarting up top, and I know it probably looks like I changed lanes on the start and didn't stay behind Keith, but Keith kind of left the lane in the middle and to maybe try and protect the bottom, and I just kept it straight, and we went into one there, and he got loose, and I told him, I said, I don't know if I hit you or not, but he got loose, and I didn't want to lose all my momentum, so I tried to get underneath him there, and I think I just clipped him enough to get him a little more unhappy and shoot him up, and then I think Dennis or somebody finished him off there off of 2. But after that, the other 2 restarts, you're just a sit duck, 2nd place there with the leader controlling the start. There's really nothing you can do. Just hope you get a good run out of 2 to have a fighting chance. But Jeff is so good in these things that it was going to be a long shot for me to be able to do anything with him. But still proud of the P2 effort.
For sure. And now shifting the focus to next week, you go to the Chicagoland Speedway. How do you feel about going out there and trying to gain some more points on Jeff and maybe even possibly being able to beat Jeff there?
For whatever reason, these cars don't like the bumps as of late. If they bottom out real bad and they hit the splitters. So Chicagoland is known for being bumpy, especially in 3 and 4 on the bottom. So it'll be interesting to see what these cars do there. I mean, Chicagoland's a fun track regardless, right? You can run bottom, you can run middle, you can run top. So I'm hoping it widens out to have those multiple lanes because they're so bad in dirty air. But I don't know. Jeff's opened up a pretty good gap here. We got some decent tracks coming up and some wild card tracks coming up. So we'll just stay at it. If we can keep rattling off some top 2, top 3 finishes, we might have a fighting chance toward the end of the year. But we'll just have to take it race by race as of right now.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time, Brody. Congratulations on the second place finish. Does anybody want to give a shout out to here for the next run?
Yeah, give a shout out to VSPEED, all our partners, everybody that puts on BTDY. Shout out to you guys in the booth. Always a good time going back and watching these races. And then continued prayers to Seth. Hope he's doing well. Still need his strategy out there on the track to maybe get us an edge on Jeff there, but we'll come back next week at Chicagoland and keep at it and see if we can't be one position better.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time, Brody. Congratulations on second, and we will see you next week out in Chicagoland.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Brody. That second place finisher, Brody Hayes, and I believe Adam Baker has made himself his way down to our winner, Jeff Wright, in Iowa Speedway Victory Lane.
Yes, sir. Jeff Wright, this is Adam and Alec in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys.
Well, Jeff, 8 wins on the season already, and it was not the easiest ending to a race, I think, that you've probably experienced, but you had a great lead and really just dominated the majority of this thing. You handled a few of those restarts there. Just describe tonight's race and getting the win here in the closing moments.
Yeah, it was a fun race, and we started off pretty much green flag racing from the drop of the initial start until about like 30 laps to go maybe ish, and got a few restarts there. Thankfully we were able to kind of retain the lead there through the pit stops, and I was able to be the control car on the restarts, so that's such a big advantage. And it got a little bit chaotic there behind me. I know some really fast guys got involved in some things and kind of took them out of contention, like Noah, and I know even Jeremiah was I think he restarted top one of those restarts, and I looked in the mirror and he had a really big run coming, so I thought maybe Jeremiah was gonna have something there for me, but just had everything go our way tonight, thankfully. And anytime you see a late race caution, you never want to see it, and always think of everything that can go wrong. Thankfully tonight nothing didn't go too far wrong for us, at least. I know a couple other guys got some incidents, but just nice to close this one out.
Yeah, I was going to say, it didn't go wrong for you. Definitely went wrong for others, but definitely a strong performance as we're used to seeing from the 48 machine. Your 8th win of the season, you take a commanding points lead that was already pretty large coming into tonight. And we go to Chicagoland next week, another bumpy, kind of difficult racetrack. How do you feel going out there?
Yeah, I really like Chicagoland. It's one of my favorite 1.5 miles to go to, so really looking forward to that one. I know last time we were there, I think it was Seth that kind of dominated the field, so he was obviously very good there. I think really all those VSPEED guys on Team VSPEED, so Keith and Brody, I'm sure they're going to be good. I know Noah's been running really strong lately, and some other guys too coming on late. Ronnie Osmer had a really good finish tonight, and Jeremiah Vincent had a shot at it here on the final goings of the restarts. And Dennis Faircloth, look how strong he was, in the early goings of this race. He really knows how to rip the top, and Chicagoland's a track that kind of opens the door for those guys to go up there, kind of depending on how the weather. So I think it should be a super fun race, and obviously qualifying is going to be a really important there, kind of like it is just about anywhere now with the dirty air. We're gonna go there, try to get a good qualifying spot, and just try to keep adding points here to this points lead, and try to keep that points lead as we get closer to the end of this championship run.
Yeah, I think with another victory here tonight, you got a couple mulligans in your back pocket in case anything did happen. But it should be exciting, like you said, with all the different ways to run next week, and see what kind of battles we end up with for the win in that one. But I'm sure we'll see you up there fighting for it as always. Jeff, you get a win here. 117 laps led after starting in the 4th position tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for tonight's race?
Yeah, just thank you guys up in the booth, Adam. I know you probably would have liked to have been out here on the racetrack. I know you really like this track a lot, and it is a lot of fun to drive. But thanks to you up in the booth, Alec up in the booth. You guys do incredible work. And then obviously all the sponsors, for this series. So KHIO, Affinity for Gaming, Up There Disc Golf, so the Turret Magic, Icon Apparel, everybody, that pitches in and makes this possible. And then also just the league admins, continuing to put on this Tuesday night series. So fun to come out here, and had green flag racing for pretty much the entire night, and that's a pretty common thing to have here at BTDY. So just thankful to be a part of a really awesome series.
Yes, sir. And thanks for taking some time here afterwards and yeah, maybe next opportunity I get to go to Iowa and maybe challenge you. I don't think I can challenge you at this point, but
Hey,
I'd love to.
I'm gonna hold you to it, Adam. You better be on the racetrack. I want to race against you again.
I don't know if SNR goes there. Maybe I'll make a rare appearance in a next gen machine. But anyways, yeah, appreciate the time, Jeff. I'm sure we'll talk to you soon here. But congrats on the win and go celebrate.
All right, sounds good. Thank you guys both. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that is Jeff Wright, race winner, 8th win of the season. He's your points leader as well. And man, what a season it's been for him, and continues to just get better and better. But dominating performance, 117 laps led. And Alec, what an exciting finish to this one tonight. We didn't like we said in the commercial break, we weren't sure this was going to end that way. It looked like it was just going to be a green flag race, and wow, it got exciting.
It got crazy at the end, and there are a lot of players at the end of that thing, and that's what I love about BTDY. Late race caution can really change anything. I think Chicago's going to be fun to watch, and it'll be fun. Maybe we'll have you up here again, or we'll see you on the racetrack. But man, great racing that we saw here tonight, and that's what BTDY is for. We love coming here on Tuesday nights and watching these boys race. And I'm gonna have to hold you to that Iowa thing. I got to see you there on Saturday night. I think it's in May or sometime. We go to Iowa for the Cup Series, but we're going to see you there, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a shot. I'm not so great in the next gen machines, but this is a track that is in my wheelhouse perfectly. So we'll give it a shot. I'll give it my best effort. And Alec, thanks for joining me in the booth here. Thanks to BTDY, all the sponsors they have for making this happen. Also, we heard Brody mention it there, but Seth is still thinking of you, praying for you. And anyone watching, if you feel so inclined or have the means, we do ask that you consider donating to Seth's cause, going through a battle with a rare form of cancer. And just a great guy, and has been great to Team VSPEED. Like you said, these guys miss him out on track, and we feel his presence being missed out here on the track, and would love to see him back sooner rather than later. But wishing him the best, and hope he can heal up soon here. So Seth, if you're watching, hope you enjoyed the race tonight as always, and we miss you, brother. But thanks for tuning in to VSPEED, like we always say, and have a great night. We will catch you back on the track.